What is happening? J Gamer Dude here, and so I recently got Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth on launch day, and it is very rare for me to actually buy a game at launch unless I'm very into like the game series or something else like that. However, I thought about it for a second and realized the prices of games have not been particularly cheap. In fact, hell, they've been going up more and more as time has gone on. And you might be wondering what, kind of spurred this thought pattern. And that largely came from how Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth does have New Game Plus locked out behind different versions of the game that isn't the standard version of the game, both physical and digital. And then I realized, hold on, didn't Like a Dragon do the exact same thing? And yes and no. Yes for the Japanese version, no for the English version. So in Japan, when Yakuza Like a Dragon launched back in 2020, what's 2019? I can't remember the exact year of the Japanese version, but they did actually charge more for New Game Plus as part of a DLC pack after release, as opposed to announcing it at launch with like additional versions and things like that. All because it's in the I think it was like the premium vacation bundle or something like that, vacation pack or rather. Oh well, actually no, it's for this game, not for the other game, but you get the idea. They did actually release something after the fact to say now you can have New Game Plus, rather than announcing it for launch or for a series that has had New Game Plus since the very beginning. It's just interesting to see, really. But and then I thought about it, and then there have been articles going around about like how the base game is really like $85 or $105 when you really think about it. And then I remembered, hold on, isn't Sony doing something where they want to sell Spider-Man 3 in 3 parts for $50 each? So technically speaking, Spider-Man 3 would cost $150 and would release in those 3 parts would release between 2027 and 2028. And then that's when I remembered that that's exactly what the heck was going on, where PlayStation is actually wanting to sell parts for $50 each. Overall coming to, it says $80 to $100, but let's be real, it's very much going to be more than that. And this is all part of the Insomniac leaks as well, to the fact where like you can, if there's going to, it seems like there's going to be some sort of multiplayer element to Spider-Man 3, and so they're going to be selling the single player and multiplayer separately. So it's pretty much sort of like a pick and choose as to how you want to play the game. And that kind of sucks, because I get that games are getting more expensive to make, that the COVID bubble has now kind of burst regarding an overhiring of individuals, and now realizing that games aren't selling as well as they could have because we're not in a perpetual state of being stuck at home with nothing else to do. I mean, at the end of the day, we've still got games, and the Capcom president himself did come out in another set of news articles probably around a few weeks ago, saying that games are actually too cheap at the moment, and that they should be charging more for them. And this is coming off the heels of Capcom saying that their first $70 game is going to be Dragon's Dogma 2. And generally the previews have been quite positive, because like, again, when you think about things that people remember about the past, it makes people remember how good PS3 games were back in the day. That this is kind of the most PS3 game you'll ever see or play, and that is kind of more of a draw for me than how much of a killing of interest it could be for other people. But yeah, so I had rummaged around in my mind regarding this whole situation of like, okay, well, pretty much the PS2 sort of era games were $50. They then went up to $60 in price from the PS3 360 era, though this was also the same time that the joke was made that you would need to get a second job in order to even afford a PS3, charging for $599 for the console in question, which seems like, hell of a sight to behold back in the day, because one thing that we realize is nobody is going to buy consoles at 600 USD. But the thing is that could go over not particularly well. In fact, I think their consoles could easily go over $600 in the near future without a doubt. And then if, like, you know, the prices weren't that bad, at least we kind of have the option of having either both physical options and digital options. So at least sometimes in places, physical copies might actually be cheaper than the digital version, and at least you kind of, you know, get to keep that copy with you, as opposed to if your account got banned, for example, all of your games are just up and gone. However, and then this leads into another thing that I was also wanting to talk about, but I thought, you know what, I'll throw it in here as well. Xbox is going all digital, supposedly, as apparently they've kind of gutted their internal physical copy department. So the guys that print discs and make sure that they're all working, functional, etc., and that do all the packaging and the facilitation of allowing first-party physical copy games. Because it looks like Xbox is going all digital, as per the previous leaks that we had gotten near the end of last year midway of last year, where it was rumored that there was going to be a refresh of the Xbox Series X that would be a digital-only console with no disk drive or anything else like that. So it seems like it's clear that they're going in an all-digital area, and if they do go all digital, Xbox/Microsoft own that storefront, so they can control the pricing pretty much to the biggest degree possible. Because if there's no physical copy first party games and they all come digitally, then at the end of the day, when it comes to pricing, you don't really have much of a way in options. So at the end of the day, everything that I've said has kind of come around to the idea of price, whether it be Sony doing multiple parts of a single title released across a shorter period of time, but piecemealing the whole product as instead of, like, say what Xbox is doing, whereby going all digital completely and being able to completely control the price, which is another downside to an all digital future, because how many stores are there going to be on the Xbox consoles, or even on the PlayStation consoles, or hell, even in the Nintendo consoles? We've got the eShop, the PlayStation Store, and the Xbox Marketplace. On PC, at least we have, you know, Steam and Epic Games Store, but even then, ultimately, at the end of the day, what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? You know, it's really hard to kind of turn this into more of a positive spin, considering that we've seen quite a few closures already this year, and it's really just a matter of time before we see the next one. Again, Embracer's had a bunch more layoffs since my making of that video. It just really, really sucks, and the future isn't looking too great, honestly. But yeah, this is kind of like a little bit of a thought that I had over the weekend, and I thought, you know what, I should make a video about this. Let's get the thoughts out there. Let's get people thinking about it, and see what comes of it. But with all that said and done, like the video if you liked it, comment below on just anything and everything that I've said in this video. Please, share your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 200 subs by the end of the year. I also do want my videos to go to more people, so of course we can get more gamers in, because ultimately everything that I'm saying is only going to affect us as customers, not people who are in the industry that are actually increasing these prices, ultimately, at the end of the day. And I don't think there's any real need to increase prices for games. Sure, they might be getting more expensive to make, but the excess of money is going to the top of the pyramid as opposed to everyone else. I don't know. Again, just another random thought out there. But with all that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.